In this episode, all you need is love. You're in the Playhouse. Welcome to the Playhouse. I'm Uncle Paul, and it's time for our very special hellos. Hello to Mr. Beatles Pro, the Sticker Mania family, Dave Sundstrom, Jerome Luby, Shoshana, Kid O'Toole, Beatle Dave, Joe Mayo, MFK, the Two Legs Podcast, Andy and Tom, and Gracie and Rosie. Now, if you'd like a special hello, just please leave it in the comments below, and perhaps we can dedicate one to a pet or a friend of yours, any name you'd like. And that's our very special hellos for today. Today, of course, we're going to be talking about something very special in the Playhouse. And it's time for Object Presentation Artifact Showcase. In 2006, the Beatles partnered with the Mirage Hotel in Las Vegas, Nevada, and the Circus Soleil Company to create a spectacular musical event based on the works and music of the Beatles. Now, this idea was endorsed and created by George Harrison, who of course we lost in 2001. But George was thinking and planning this idea years before. So on June 30th, 2006, yes, the spectacular Love Show premiered at the Mirage Hotel in Las Vegas. Now, the stage that they used was formerly used by Ziegfeld and Roy, and this theater had to be specially made for the Circus Soleil Love Show. They put music speakers, 4.1, in the back of each seat, and of course, in order for the performers of a Circus Soleil show, if you've ever seen one, there's a large pit, stages that go up and down, and the performers go all the way up to the top of the ceiling. So this was a show that needed to remain in Las Vegas. There were other Circus Soleil shows that were able to go out on the road as a touring company, but the Beatles' Love was always planned to be a show exclusively in the space that was created for it. Now, the show ran until July 7th, 2024. So it had a very healthy run in Las Vegas. Again, premiering on June 30th, 2006, and ending on July 7th, yes, coincidentally, Ringo's birthday, 2024. And that was not due to poor ticket sales. The reason that the Love Show ended in Las Vegas was due to the fact that the Mirage Hotel had been bought. And sadly, then the show had to end because the Mirage Hotel was demolished. But I was very fortunate enough to see the Love Show 7.5 times. And I'll briefly tell you about the halftime now. At one of my shows that I was there, that about 3/4 in, and this very rarely happens, there was a malfunction somewhere. No one got hurt or anything, but they had to stop the show, and they knew they couldn't continue. And this was about a third of the show. So, but graciously, they said, we can't continue with the show, but if you'd like to come back tomorrow, everyone can get a free show. So that's how I was able to see it 7.5 times. But to me, it was even more than that, 7.75. Because there was only about a half hour left of the show. And it ran about a little over 90 minutes, the total show. And again, it was spectacular. For anyone, hopefully, that got to see it, I'm sure you're agreeing with me. Now, the first time I got to see the Love Show was between August 16th and 20th of 2009. And we're showing you some photos of me frolicking, frolicking in Las Vegas. I loved to see the hotel. You're seeing that picture where you could look up and the Beatles photographs were right on top of the building, and they had love slot machines. It was so much fun. But one of the best things that something that I certainly look forward to, besides the show, were the other things that they had going on in the hotel. There was the Revolution Lounge, which was a like bar that was dedicated to the Beatles, and they had some matches. Here we are. Here's some matches to the Mirage Lounge that they had here, and we were talking about the napkins, and I know here they are. This also might fall under trash to treasure, but we know immediately with the Beatles, like yes, like I used a few of the napkins, but of course I was gonna bring home some napkins. This didn't last for the entire run, the bar. So these were only, I think, in the first 4 or 5 years that they had the bar. And just some other mementos. Now, but the best part, besides seeing the show, was that they had an exclusive Mirage Love gift shop where you could get items that were only available, of course, there. They did not have any mail order either. So this was the only way that you could get these exclusive Beatle items, love items that we're going to show you. Now we're going to start actually as a completist. I'm going to talk about the gift bags because they changed them throughout the years. Again, they had such a long run. So this is just if you bought something. This was the first design. And of course, this is the famous design that was used on the Beatles' Love soundtrack that was released. And that was compiled by Giles Martin, one of his first solo projects that he did, where he did mashups of the Beatles songs. Spectacular. I just still love listening to the Love CD soundtrack. And of course, just to show you a few other of the gift bags that they used throughout the years. And this is the second one. They needed to change it up a little bit. I believe at this point they also changed the heads on the hotel, that you could see these portraits of the Beatles, circa 1968. And then we have, I think this was the final one, and the collectibles that we're going to show you kind of match the bags. And this was the third bag that they used. Of course, yes. Here's the CD I was talking about, the soundtrack, the 2-disc deluxe. George and Giles Martin worked on this because George Martin had produced the original songs. So in the gift shop, you could get yourself, of course, a multitude of t-shirts. In fact, here it is. Like trash to treasure, I kept the box. But here's the t-shirt that was inside this box, the men's charcoal gray t-shirt. And some really fun exclusive items dating back to the first. You could get some Beatles Love drumsticks. Kept them in the package here, but yeah, these are great. I love that. There's the Love logo, of course. And of course, then they used more of the jumping and standing from A Hard Day's Night. And this is more. Here's a water drink dispenser. This is nice. Very nice. And they had some ornaments. This is a little pendant, I believe, jewelry. And during the, and then of course, here's the Love shot glass. Perfect for Las Vegas, of course. And then the second wave, and an ornament. Very nice. Still using the jumping and standing. And we have some drink coasters. The Beatles' Love is inside the mug. We like that. And we have the matching shot glass. I think they were just throwing these around in the audience while we were waiting for the performance to start. But nice inflatable beach ball. I really don't think they were selling these. I really believe that when it came to myself in the audience, I was like, oh no, I'm just going to keep the ball and hope that no one notices. there in the comments bowl. And this was also during the first few years only. This was not sold, but if you bought a large drink, preferably just a soda beverage or something, you got it in this nice frosted love. They made out of a nice sturdy material there, plastic, but still it's very nice. And I remember when I also got some Love bottled water. They had that they were selling, but it was the label said the Beatles Love on it. And of course, we love lunch boxes, and this is not really a lunchbox, but it's a tin tote, as we call it, and it's nice. Nice. And I like the fact that when you were buying these again, that the only way that you could get these items were to be at the show. So I knew right away then that they were going to be something extra special. And this, it's more like a coaster. It's very psychedelic, but it is like a magnet at the same time. I love this. This is very bright, because I love everything, as I always say here at the Playhouse. But we're gonna attach it here. Watch what happens when we put it on the tote. Right there. Looks very nice. All right. Well, now it's time to check the comments bowl. And to be in the comments bowl, that's all you have to do is leave us a comment, and we read them here at the Playhouse randomly. This is really random. I don't know which one we're going to read. This is about episode 5, The Beatles' Strawberry Fields Forever and Ever and Ever and Ever. And member Sticker Mania commented, probably the best double-sided single by any music artist that walked the planet Earth. Well, I tend to agree, Frank. So thanks, Sticker Mania. And if you want to be in the comments bowl, it's simple. Just please leave us a comment and subscribe, like, share. And for now, the Playhouse is closed. Thanks, Joe Friday.